I'm Alicia.
And I'm Maddie.
And welcome to the Fangirl Diaries, a podcast where we talk about our obsessions,
Reminisce about our teen icons,
and explore the books, movies, and shows that made us the incredibly nerdy 30-somethings that we now are. Good evening, Maddie.
Hey, Alicia.
I just realised today that the title of this film is the same as your initials, your married initials.
Oh, yeah, that's true. MR. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, because I think I sent you in a text, like, I've got my MR notes. And for a second, I thought you might think, but that's me.
Oh,
and
no, I still think of my initials as being MNS.
Yeah.
Even though I think of my surname as being my married surname, like, yeah. I still think of my initials for some reason as being my old initials. So anyway.
Well, you match Moulin Rouge, which
Yay!
in actually more than one way, because I've got things to say about your hair color matching Nicole Kidman in this. This is such a Maddie film. I'm really excited for you to talk about it.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely one of my absolute favorite all-time films, which is interesting because it is one of the very few films or pieces of media where me and my husband Ben, who people may have met through the Taylor Swift episode, he completely disagrees and he hates this movie, which is so unlike him.
That is unlike him because he's normally a huge fan of whatever we talk about on this podcast. That I didn't know that. Why? I mean, let's start with the haters. Why does he not like Moulin Rouge?
I mean, it's a bit out there, isn't it? It's like, it's a musical. It's wacky. Like, the visuals are like colorful and fast and bright, and it moves, and it's like, it's not trying to be realistic. It's trying to be like hyper fantasy at all times. Yeah, it's loud, and like you gotta keep up with like the fast pace and yeah, if you're not in the mood for being like visually assaulted, then you wouldn't be in the mood for this movie. But if you are in the mood for that, you will love it.
I can see why some people don't like it, I have to say. Because every time I rewatch it, which is, a pleasure, sometimes I think, oh, I'm not sure I'm in the place for this. Or, oh, I can see why this is like those really complex flavors of ice cream where you might think, oh, that's a bit much.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just have sorbet.
Yeah. Whereas I think that when I start watching it, it like sucks me into being in the mood. No matter what mood I'm in, it sucks me into the correct mood for Moulin Rouge.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've had to watch it in little sections this time. I was trying to watch it with Arno, whose attention span is like 20 minutes. Yeah. And so you're absolutely right. You get into kind of Paris and they start to develop the play within the film. And then, no, I had to stop for 5 hours.
Oh, no, it's going to ruin it.
I know. So well, we should give some background here. Yeah. So first of all, for us, this has been on our podcast list for probably each season that we've done. And something's always just jumped over it, hasn't it? Like either there was something so massive, like we had to do Lord of the Rings or we had to do Buffy, or there's been something that's been topical, like Wicked the movie came out, we had to talk about that. That poor old Moulin Rouge got a little bit like shunted down the list.
Yeah, and it's not part of like a larger franchise that we obsessed over. It's more like an individual film that like it encompasses a lot of what we love about certain genres and brings film and musical theatre together. But yeah, it is its own piece rather than being part of a like wider fandom.
And its time has now come.
Yay!
Finally, we get to talk about it because you were right. You and I really love this movie. And have watched it together and have talked about it many times and have been the people that have chewed over whether it gets to sit in the category of like proper musical category, but not really because it's a jukebox musical. And we've really theorized about Moulin Rouge a lot. Yes. So yeah, its time is now.
Yeah. I was going to ask, do you remember when you first watched it?
I was going to ask, and I should have messaged you earlier. Do you think we both watched it together? I have a memory of watching it at your house.
It's very possible, but I also don't have a specific memory of the first time. And I was thinking this, I was like, what? I feel like I've just always watched it.
Yeah.
It's just a part of my life.
which is surprising because it's such, like you said, an impact film, that I'm surprised I don't remember first watching it. Probably because we were too young for it to be a cinema experience. It came out when both of us were about 9.
It
So
came out in 2001.
2001,
So
summer
it's the
2001.
same, and I was looking this up. It came out the same year as Fellowship of the Ring, and actually got the same number of Oscar nominations as Fellowship of the Ring. It got 12 alongside Fellowship of the Ring.
And this is going to be part of the constant discussion we're going to have because Ben represents, your husband Ben represents, I think, a tribe of people for whom this is just not their bag, that it would be
Yeah,
painful to make them sit through this film. And yet it got massive critical acclaim. Like that's an enormous number of Oscars to be
yeah.
nominated for. I feel like if the world was in a slightly different mood, this could be seen as a very silly movie. Do you think, and this was me really having too much time this week to think about this, and I'm sorry to raise such a kind of macabre point, but this came out just before 9/11, which, like, to
Mm,
me, 2001 was like the end of my childhood,
yeah,
end
for
of me
sure.
thinking everything was nice in the world. The first
Yeah.
time that I really thought, oh God, it's really bad. And and I wonder whether after that, because in 2002 we start to get musicals that are much darker. Like we still get musicals, but 2002 is like Chicago.
Mm.
And it also got enormous critical acclaim, Oscar wins, Oscar nominations. But do you think if Moulin Rouge had come out like 15 years later, people would have sort of found it too sweet?
I
Too,
don't know because it's also quite dark. Like it is. It is glitzy and big and dramatic and like melodramatic, but it is
Mm,
also quite dark. Like the stuff, I mean, we'll talk a little bit more about the plot, but like the stuff between Satine and the Duke is like quite unpleasant.
yeah.
And then ultimately, like their love story is it fails. The end is tragic in a kind of melodramatic way, as I said, but it is quite intense. It's and all that stuff around Roxanne and everything. Like it's not completely just fluffy.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But I think when I was watching it again, if we talk about sort of the structure of it, which is madness to watch this film is to kind of suspend disbelief in everything you understood films to be before, because not only is it so mental in terms of like the editing, the like there's randomly like Kylie Minogue as Tinkerbell for a
Yeah,
second. and
yeah,
and when you watch the first 20 minutes, there's all the mad stuff with like the Argentinian falls through the roof, and there's like the band of Bohemians. And when I was watching it, I thought this feels like an experience similar to when I watched the Barbie movie, which is that you're not really sure what kind of film this is, but you're somehow there for the ride and it's somehow working and you're somehow held.
yeah. Well, we have to talk about the fact that this is Baz Luhrmann's probably like most successful and like most well-known film, and he was and is, I guess, still one of those kind of like auteur type directors where he has a vision of the types of movies he wants to make, and he, as director, kind of creates the whole experience. It really is like Baz Luhrmann's movie more than it is anything else. And so what I do remember is watching the Moulin Rouge first and then going back and watching what are sometimes considered a trilogy, which is Strictly Ballroom and his Romeo and Juliet, which came before. And I mean, they're not as great, in my opinion, as Moulin Rouge, but I do remember really loving that Romeo and Juliet. Like, it was
I
really
was gonna
cool.
I think that's my favorite one of his, Romeo and Juliet, which is also on our list to talk about another time and will probably involve us crying. Um, but this just feels like him in party mode, even though,
Yes.
like you said, it's very tragic.
Yeah.
It's like it's such a rave, this film.
You're
I
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, yeah, it is like going to a party, literally, and also I guess because he's telling a story in the story, the uh, he's writing about what happened to him. And so you're almost seeing it through his imagination. So they're allowed to just have these, crazy, massive, like elephant room that people like fly in and out of. And, the fantasy sequences in it are very much like you just, he kind of fits them in rather than making it clear, oh, this is a fantastical moment. It's just all a part of the story and it just takes you through all these things that are told very fantastically, but also literally, like as if they really did happen like that, but obviously they couldn't.
How would we give a summary of this? It's hard to do. How would you summarize Moulin Rouge? What is the story for people who can't remember and who think, oh, I watched that once and I was sort of assaulted by music and color, but what
Yes.
the heck happens?
I mean, basic story, young writer turns up in Paris and he's all kind of optimistic and looking for love and to be a writer and he is
Love.
yeah, exactly. He's falls in love. He's smitten by this, essentially this prostitute dancer at the Moulin Rouge, Satine, the sparkling diamond, the biggest name at the Moulin Rouge, and it's really about their love story. While he kind of, it's a whole load of hijinks around. She's meant to be marrying this duke. And he's having an affair with her behind the Duke's back. At the same time, they're writing a play to put on at the Moulin Rouge to make her a star. And it's just really about the kind of tragedy of their love being kind of ripped away through all the craziness that goes on in a like big cabaret dance theater. It's great.
Sometimes when I watch it, I feel like the plot is there to serve the concept, and that Baz Luhrmann wanted to explore the Moulin Rouge and put all of his wonderful sort of early 20th century French stuff on the screen and
Costumes and
costumes
yeah,
and he was
color.
just into the aesthetic and then wanted to have all these pop songs involved.
Yeah.
But actually, yeah, every time I watch it, I do think, no, this plot has merit. I'm
Oh yeah, totally.
into this plot. It's not nonsensical. You buy into Christian's introduction. Christian is Ewan McGregor's character, the young writer, and you buy into his introduction into this like bohemian den. And who wouldn't fall in love with Satine, the
Yeah.
star? And yet they can't be together. It's a fraught love story. You're right. She's sort of she's not going to marry the Duke. She's like going to be his sort of formal mistress, isn't she?
Yeah,
Like
true. Yeah,
his like
yeah.
exclusive hooker.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I think it is that sells the story? I think it's Ewan McGregor. I think he is so sincere in amongst all of the madness that it just works. Like you wouldn't go for the story if you didn't really believe in Christian. And I think Ewan McGregor is such a great actor that he manages to do it, even though it's nonsense.
I'm surprised it works, but you're right. And this is my second comparison to the Barbie film, despite these things being almost quarter of a century apart, is that the film works because actors have totally bought into the
Yeah,
concept and giving it 1000%. And they are committed to delivering for that director and for the film, and if they didn't, it wouldn't work. If
yeah.
anyone was giving like 80%, if Ryan Gosling wasn't doing I'm Just Ken to the best of his ability, it wouldn't work. And here you've got like serious actors, like Nicole Kidman is there singing and dancing in sparkles, like but like at 110%, and so it works.
Yeah. Let's talk about the songs and the concept of the songs then, because part of I think what made it stand out at the time was the fact that it was using modern songs in a unique way. Like it wasn't just placing the existing versions of unique songs into the story. It was like reworking them, re-orchestrating them in many ways, like many times like completely changing the tone of the song. If you think about like Like a Virgin is just a completely different song. And similarly, like Roxanne, complete rebuilding of the song from scratch, but it's enough, like it's recognizable enough that when you hear it, you're like, I know that. And I like that song, but oh, they're doing something different.
Yeah.
And to me, it's interesting because I generally don't like jukebox musicals. Like they're not my kind of musical. And yet this doesn't feel like one, even though it technically is.
It so much is, but I agree with you. I like it. And in other cases, I've not gone in for this.
Yeah.
The songs are so well, like you said, kind of reset and then woven into the fabric of the musical and the story that it somehow works. And you get this pleasure as a viewer of hearing the first bars of something and being like, oh, wait, I've got that twinge of recognition. What is that? Oh, it's this song. Oh, I like this. Oh, and I especially like the way they're doing this.
Yeah.
And you get that over and over again.
Yeah.
It
I
made it
mean,
really, really work.
Roxanne is the highlight, I think, has always
Oh,
been.
it's the standout number.
It's the standout number. And it is just, yeah, it's epic and big in a way that for a long time, that was the version of Roxanne that I knew better than the original.
Half of these songs I feel like I know from Moulin Rouge first, and then sometimes they'll come on like, I don't know, some like late night radio program that's dragging something up from the 80s. And I'm like, oh, it's that song from Moulin Rouge, but it sounds different.
Different, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. There are some though that to me are a little more skippable than others, as is the case always with any musical.
Yeah.
Um, but and that song, when you talk about Like a Virgin, that's Jim Broadbent's song. He's the kind of manager of the Moulin Rouge. And again, a guy giving it 110%. He
Yeah,
is going for it. Whoever plays the Duke is hamming it up to the maximum.
totally.
Everyone in it is really going for it. And they all do their own singing
Oh yeah, 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 for sure.
in a more
So
successful way than we should say that other actors have done in other musicals.
yeah, no, these are all people who could actually sing.
Yeah, it helps.
It helps, it
It
helps,
helps.
it helps.
It helps.
Okay, so what is it then, do you think, that we've said all the ways that it like in theory might not work? What is it that you think makes it work?
Um, I think it's the very same thing that creates a love or hate relationship with it, which is that if you are prepared to be swept up on this like mad roller coaster and you
Yeah,
just let yourself go, then it's a really, really exhilarating film.
yeah,
Um, if not, and you resist it, you're going to hate this musical.
yeah,
And I like the being swept up in it. I like the exhilaration. I love the aesthetic of it. I think it works visually. It's beautiful to look at. And it's, you already said this, it's so remarkably melodramatic that, again, it could have gone both ways. There are points that could have been laughable and cliche, but they're being played with such commitment by
sincerity.
such sincerity that
Yeah,
my heart breaks like 15 times during this musical just because like a tear rolls down Nicole Kidman's cheek.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, totally, totally. I think I love things that put in effort and
Yes.
like that, like, you know, what I was thinking about the other day, like what kind of performers I like on stage, what kind of like, if I go to a gig or whatever, I want someone who puts on a show. I want
Yes.
someone who's thought about it, who's a great performer and like has put some like structure into it. Maybe there's some like theatrical moments, whatever. Surprise, surprise, I like theatrical moments. But like, this is the like film equivalent of that. It's like, let's really put on a show and like every shot is like visually incredible and is really like thought, and especially like the choreography and things in some of those opening sequences in the Moulin Rouge when we first go into the theater and it's like these great huge like cast full of people dancing. It's like we're going to put everything on the screen and really like sell it. And I think that's what works for me.
Yeah. It's a great point about performance because I and you love like we have such a passion and interest for theatre,
Yeah.
I love watching films or musicals that are like meta theatrical in that sense. I want to watch something that is about performance.
Yeah.
It's why I like Phantom of the Opera. It's why, and God forgive me because we haven't got to it yet, but it's why I like things like this is the same kind of era when I was into Step Up or
Yes.
Glee. Like,
Yeah.
I want to consume content about performance.
Yeah.
And this
Totally.
is that.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
This has all the things I like. It has backstage shots of dressing rooms. It has people in makeup and costumes. It's about putting on a play.
Yeah, and I think in terms of the costumes as well, it's because it's fantastical. They were able to just go all in, and in a way that maybe we've seen again more recently with something like Bridgerton or whatever. But like go in on historical costumes, but not worrying about historical accuracy, and like
Yeah.
specifically not worrying about it, like not accidentally getting it wrong, but just we are going to do a mashup between like this like I don't know, it's 19th century dress and now, and the colors and the makeup and everything is going to hark back to modern aesthetic as well as that like yeah, Parisian aesthetic at the time.
There's some very modern underwear that
Oh
gets
yeah.
some stage time in this piece. I have to say, I feel like a lot of the time Nicole Kidman is wearing like La Perla or Victoria's Secret. There's no way that she's wearing like the actual Victorian equivalent
No,
or like a smock. It's
no.
just not happening. Um, and I really, really enjoyed like the tragedy of it, which is terrible.
Mm.
Every time I watch this film, it's the classic one where I want it to end a different way, but I know that it's not going to. Every time I watch it, I think surely Satine survives, but no.
And she it's actually very topical at the moment. She so she coughs up in her blood into her like handkerchief, which is the first sign that she's got consumption, which is what kills her. And I have a recommendation for you of a book that I just read about.
Where is this going?
No, it's complete, just really topical for what I've been reading recently. So consumption is the like olden day name for the disease tuberculosis. And I've recently read a book about tuberculosis, which is really good. It's really good. So
What?
this could be cut out if it's not an interesting tangent, but it's a good tangent. So this book is a non-fiction book called Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green, because TB is the most deadly disease in human history. And the reason that it pops up in so much literature as like, particularly of that time period, but also like throughout history, consumption was this like romanticized disease of like, because it was literally the deadliest disease for the whole of human history. And this book like talks about the whole history, and it's fascinating. It's like connecting all of like the history that you've learned about and like literature. And I'm sure it even mentions Moulin Rouge in the book as like this disease that was so common that like everyone just saw it as like the standard way of like fading away into like poeticness, and like people like were like, oh, you're dying of consumption, oh, it's this like beautiful thing. It's like fascinating, but it's part of that like yeah, that history of something that we don't even think about now, but was and still is the deadliest disease in human history.
Okay, I do actually think that's really interesting. I was like,
Yeah.
Maddie, what? But but you're right, because my kind of rough knowledge of it is totally from film and television. And you're
Yeah.
spot on. It's always that somebody beautiful coughs into a handkerchief.
Yes, yes,
And
exactly.
uh-oh, we see some like drops of blood.
Oh, they're gonna fade away now.
Yes, yes. And I think, oh, that's them gone. But I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you anything else about, I can be like, is it waterborne? Is it like an STD? Like, I have no
Oh,
idea. But I
Everything is
know,
Tuberculosis by John Green. Read it.
but I know that if you're like quite hot and you cough into a handkerchief, you're probably dying of TB.
Yeah.
That's so funny. And the film really plays into that because that is exactly what happens.
Yep. Yeah.
That's what
And
happens.
it is devastating just as they're like getting together at the end.
I know. What do you think are the top three songs? Are
Oh
the
my God.
top three? Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'll probably forget my favorite ones when I try and do this, but
What are you
definitely
putting
Roxanne.
Roxanne?
Roxanne 100% is the top one. Um, I I think I love the intro to the Moulin Rouge, so like the whole like, voulez-vous coucher avec moi, all that stuff, like just the going in, and I think it cuts through lots of different songs in that piece where it like you first enter the Moulin Rouge and then you go into Sparkling Diamond, I guess. So that whole sequence would be my second, and then I don't know, I might go rogue, and say. Uh, Spectacular, Spectacular, because it's always in my head.
The spectacular, spectacular. That one.
Yeah.
Okay. That is right. Just on the like the kind of the Moulin Rouge title song, like you said, the Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Um, it is funny how these things trickle down into the different age groups and into like school culture when you've not accessed like the original content yet.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is I didn't see this film in 2001. I was like 9. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
I watched it with you. It must have been an early stage because I own it on VHS. So I clearly had it
Wow.
like,
Yeah.
I think we must have watched it as a kind of young teenagers. But I have a very, very clear memory of the big thing in the primary school playground
Yeah.
being to know that song,
And to sing it.
to
Yeah.
sing it. There was like a dance to the song.
Yeah.
And because the released version was a chart smash and had like Christina Aguilera
It
in it,
was huge. I mean, it
it was
still is. It's
huge.
still a huge song.
That it was played at like our primary school discos. People, we all went nuts for that song. And I remember thinking, I don't really know what on earth this is about, but I know this song.
Yeah. And then at some point you learn French and you're like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah. And then was able to put it in the context of this film.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but the song was probably the first thing I remember as anything connected to this movie, and it was massive because
Yeah.
Christina Aguilera was massive.
It was
And
Christina Aguilera and Pink and
yeah,
Lil Kim.
yep,
There you
yep,
go.
yep. That's right. It was absolutely huge, and it was that era. And yeah, everybody was in the playground doing a little like girl group. That was it. There was like it was like being these three people, and people got to fight over like who they were going to be, and then you sang the song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
there we
great.
go. But I'm not sure my top three are the same as yours, apart from Roxanne.
Go on. What would be your other ones?
Roxanne is the like hands down banger. In a minute, we should actually just talk about that and why it's so good, because I feel like if 10 minutes from this movie were going to be studied, it's like that section.
Yeah.
Then I really like, it's super cheesy, but I like the secret song. Is it your song
Oh,
that they
yeah.
sing? I'm
Which
like,
is the
oh,
only original song in the whole show.
I like it. I think it's
Yeah.
great. You and I put it in CHS Broadway, our lame slash extremely cool little musical like compilation show that we did at school.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's a really good original song and is genuinely emotional. And then I like The Show Must Go On.
Oh, do you? I always found that one of the boring ones.
I always fast forward like a virgin because it feels to me like a filler Jim Broadbenty song.
Oh no,
And
I like a virgin.
it's like, I don't care about him and the Duke. I want to get back to the main story. Um, but The Show Must Go On feels a little bit um one day more to me. It's like,
Oh, interesting.
"The
Yeah, I
show must go
know.
on.
I
It's
just found
so
it slow. It's too slow. I need the
but it
fast pace
builds,
back.
but it builds.
Maybe, maybe. All right, so but I want to talk about one other thing before we go on to our categories, which is the fact that there is now a stage musical of this.
Have you seen it?
I have not seen it,
Nor
and
have I.
it's basically deliberate because I feel like it's going to be one of these things that is not as good as the movie.
I completely agree.
So I can't judge. I have not seen it, as I've said, but like in theory, it sounds like it would be perfect for me. They have like table seating at the front so that you can like be a part of like the Moulin Rouge at the front, and it looks like super like fun with all the performers like coming and dancing around you and like everything. I'm sure it would be amazing from that, but like it would have needed to get like 5 stars from everyone for me to not feel like it was going to ruin it. And the song choices is one of the things that I have heard about that I am worried has ruined it. Um, One example being, the song that Satine sings as she's like, it's quite a slow, quiet song as she's like contemplating like leaving. I think she knows she's
Yeah.
dying and she sings One Day I'll Fly Away,
Mhm.
which like, yeah, it's a quieter moment in the show. Maybe it's not like the most iconic song in the film, but it's like, it's nice and it works. They've replaced it with Katy Perry's Firework.
No, no, you can't be
Yeah.
doing that. That's not okay.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
update
so
the
I don't
musical.
think I can go and see the musical because it will make me angry.
I, I just, it doesn't massively thrill me, the idea of seeing it on stage, just because I think so much of what's exciting about the film is because of the medium of film, like
Yeah,
editing is Baz Luhrmann's direction. But also, you've said this already, so much of it hinges on these actors' performances, that it's
yeah.
about Ewan McGregor, it's about Nicole Kidman. And I feel like if I watched somebody else, it would feel like a tribute act
Yes,
rather than like I'd be feeling like I was watching a version of the film rather than an interesting product in and of itself. So
totally.
yeah, it's not what I'm here for. Like I don't really want to go and see Mean Girls.
Mm.
Yeah. Although I've got to give credit where credit's due. I like the film Cabaret, and the musical Cabaret on in London is amazing.
But the musical was came first. It was a musical originally.
Oh, that's so true. Right, that doesn't
So,
work. That comparison doesn't work.
yeah.
Very true. Very true.
All right, should we do our categories?
Yes, yes.
Where are we starting?
The hotness level, the
The
thermometer.
thermometer. All right. I
I keep
mean,
forgetting its actual name. We tried to give it a sensible name, like the thermometer, and actually it's just like, how hot is this film?
yeah. I mean, for me, this is a 90 degrees hotness film.
Whoa, this is going to be the first time we majorly disagree.
Oh,
That's
really?
so interesting. Yeah,
Oh,
only like
really?
50 degrees, but I'm desperate to hear your.
No, I thought this was where we were going to talk about Roxanne. That's
Oh,
like
we are.
the like, it's so hot.
Okay, okay. Give me your across this whole movie. Why is it 90 degrees?
Yes, yes,
Is like
yes,
whoa.
yes, yes. It is
One.
like, okay, it's obviously, I just think that I think it's the romance and the like the chemistry between the two of them is like huge for me. And I think it's also almost because you're like watching her from his point of view as well. Like it's his like in his way it's like a naive love, but it's clearly also just like lust after this like exceptionally gorgeous amazing woman. And you really like feel that in like this sincere way. And that, yeah, that Roxanne piece with the dancers, it's so dramatic and it brings together that like feeling of like anger. He thinks he's been betrayed by her during that time, but that like passion. And it like, yeah, it totally just yeah, it just does it for me, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. No, me too. It's the sexy song of the. I feel like it's carrying the thermometer level. Um, and it's a little bit like Cell Block Tango,
Yeah.
or it's an aggressive song as well.
Yeah, it's
It,
anger.
it's anger. It comes in that what would be kind of the second act, if you were, of the musical, where and it's intercut with some horrible drama. Satine has gone to sleep with the Duke in order to. It's when you
Mm,
say it sounds stupid. In order to save the
the
show
show. Yeah,
and
yeah,
to
yeah.
persuade him to let the show have its preferred ending. Like, and yet somehow when you're watching this, you think, "Oh my God, this is really important." And Christian is racked with jealousy. And while they all bide their time sitting in sort of the rehearsal room, um, a few of them start dancing. It's the Argentinian starts it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a song about prostitution, about jealousy, and it's done with such like aggression. But at the same time, it does then become a like sexual assault scene, which is really horrible.
Yeah, true. But most of what I like what sticks out in my mind is the Ewan McGregor bit where he takes over the singing of the song in the second verse. And
Mm.
it's him like pouring out his emotion into the vocals that are so raw. And like, yeah, I mean, I don't know whether Ewan McGregor was a trained singer. He must have been at some point, but like he almost goes into not like almost like sing speaking. It's the emotion in the voice rather than this like amazing voice that really like, yeah, that really sells it.
This is going to be my other reason for thinking that we and a lot of other people like this musical. And I think we already said it with Phantom. It's so emo.
Yes.
It's so
Yes.
emo.
It so is.
It's like, Ewan McGregor, that's it, is kind of speaking, and he's got like his sweaty hair at the
Like
front, and it's
walking
all,
through the rain.
yeah, yeah, and it's all about like tragedy and everything. And it is 2001. This is peak emo.
Yeah, yeah,
So
fair. Yeah.
it's all that time period, and it somehow speaks to the teenage audience, I think, in a way that that musical genre really did. We've
All right.
compared emo and musicals a lot.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Give me
Like,
your thermometer level then.
my 50%. Okay, so first of all, I have to say that against some of its nearest comparisons, like this one just doesn't touch like Phantom for me,
Fair.
or some of in terms of the hotness level. And some of that might be to do with my own preference in leading men. And oh God,
Mm.
isn't it really worrying that I prefer the sort of dangerous, like psychopath to
I
like,
normally
right?
do
I
as
know you do.
well, but I do also really like Ewan McGregor. I think he's really sweet.
I like Ewan McGregor in this film. So as in, I think he's nice,
Yeah.
but it's to me their romance is a little bit more puppy love, as in like it's a bit more romance rather than the hotness for me. And I think at some point somebody in the film even kind of says that, and he's mocked for just being infatuated with the sort of famous,
Mm.
beautiful girl. And I just want to like give you McGregor's character a hug in this
Mm.
film, but also to be like, now look here, this is not going to end well, which a number of people sort of say to him.
Yeah, he
Rather,
hears that.
yeah, he is that. Rather than me thinking, oh my Lord, whoa, sing it again, Ewan. I just
Yeah, I
oh,
guess
that
I
place.
guess my thermometer level is coming from the vibe of the whole thing rather
Yeah,
than a lust for the character in
yeah.
particular.
But even their love, it's that their relationship is a bit it it is also one of those films in which it manages to successfully convince us that this is an all-time love, despite the fact that I think they meet each other for about 11 minutes before they declare that they're like ultimately in love.
Well, it is a naive love, and that's kind of what carries it, I guess. It's kind of like it's a, as you said, a bit of a puppy love, and it's a bit of a, they're both hoping for something out of the situation that's more than just what the other person can give them, right? Like she's wanting to escape from this like situation that she's in, and he's somebody who is different to every other man that she has to sleep with all the time.
Mhm.
And he is has come to Paris looking for this like grand adventure, and she represents that.
We
So
should
it is
do
naive.
we should do a totally gratuitous coffee break episode on like relationship comparisons from fictitious people, because like I feel like we could get about 3 hours worth of chat out of this. But for example, this is one of those relationships where one of them has to die, because if you
Mm,
continued the relationship on any further, it would just fall apart.
totally. Yeah.
And it's exactly the same as we've already done an episode on Titanic. But if we
Yes.
had Rose and Jack actually exit the Titanic together, I'm thinking somebody would be running back to Cal pretty quickly.
Yes.
It just
Yes.
would not work. And this is the same. I don't understand how Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman's character are actually going to exist outside of this slightly heady 2 week romance that they have. And same as Jack and Rose, they have like 3 dates and then one of them dies.
But that's the romance, Alicia. That's
I
the
know,
whole
I know, I know.
point.
It's such an interesting relationship structure
Yeah.
against your for example, the notebook structure of two characters who are like Noah and Allie take time off from their relationship. Then they come back to it. Then it's going to last forever. And then
Yeah.
it's them in the end. And we spoke last time about Downton Abbey. I believe that Matthew and Mary are going to last, because it takes them about a freaking decade to like get married, albeit that one of them then does die. But that's a different thing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, albeit that that's your relationship story of taking a decade to get together.
Yeah, I'm just doing self-promotion here. That's entirely why. As a complete segue, I'm
Taking
sorry
a break.
to throw back to a separate episode, but because we talked about Downton last time and you were in the middle of watching it, how far did you get, by the way? Where are you now?
I got to the start of season 5. Season 5 started, and the first episode was kind of weird, and everything seemed different, and so I stopped.
Oh, you're right. That can throw people off gear, definitely.
Yeah.
Um, but because we had talked about it, I let myself. Like, I just thought, oh, all right, there it's being suggested to me on Amazon Prime because my phone listens to me. Um, let me just, watch 10 minutes. I think in about 3 days, I was like running up to the end of season 2.
Amazing.
I'm like deep in season 3. You just can't get off that train once you get. It's impossible. Anyway,
Nice.
back to Moulin Rouge.
Well, let's do the badassness level. How many
Oh yeah.
badassnesses out of 10?
Um, how many badassnesses is this? Is there a fight? No,
Not
otherwise it's a lot
really.
of sequins, isn't it? I mean, the
There's
Duke's a
like
scary
the
guy.
gun at the end. I'm giving this like a 2 out of 10 badassness.
Yeah, it's not very badass. In fact,
It's
when I was rewatching it, and there's the threat that the Duke is going to kill Christian, um, Jim Broadbent's character says to Satine, "You know he can do it. He's a powerful man." And I'm like, wait, that little dude with the twiddly moustache.
He
The,
does have some kind of henchman, I think, who comes in at the end and
he's
is
got
like,
he's got a henchman,
but
but
yeah, no, there's no
yeah,
badassness. We've just talked about how like Ewan McGregor's character is definitely not badass. The only badass person is potentially Satine, who's pretty badass.
yeah.
But yeah, as it's generally about show people, and
Yes.
therefore is not badass.
Yes, it's very true. The sense of threat in this, like it almost is unnecessary when there is the threat that the Duke is going to kill Christian, because I'm already at peak threat level when the threat is that they're gonna like change the ending song of the show.
Oh, like the show might get cancelled.
The show might get cancelled. I
Yeah.
was like, what's Christian? The musical must continue.
Yeah.
I like the threat is already there enough that they've done all this really difficult rehearsing, and I want to watch Spectacular, Spectacular. I don't want it to be cancelled.
Yeah. No,
So,
totally.
no, I don't need the murder plot. I don't need that.
All right. And then obsession fuel then.
You would think that this is a sort of film that you would watch at the time and fade away, like a kind of weird one-hit wonder. But you and I have watched this film a lot on repeat. The musical is now on stage here. Like to commercially put that on stage, you have to think there's enough people that care about this movie.
There's
Like
still
20
an
years later,
audience.
there's
Yeah.
still an audience. And we're 24 years on from this film. That's mad. Like I'm assuming that people will want to listen to this podcast episode because they're, oh, Moulin Rouge, I love that film. Oh, this will be disproven if one person listens to it. But you'll be like, Alicia, damn you, no one cares about that film. But
No,
yeah,
no, I think it did last longer than it became part of public consciousness. And yeah, my obsession fuel is definitely only filled by rewatching. It's not like it's not like it's filtered into other places, but yeah, it's probably a good half tank.
I think so because it has that magical set of ingredients. Like when we talked about the aesthetic and the costumes and the music is now really recognizable, that this is the sort of thing that has the potential for theme parties. Loads of
Mm.
people will have like a 40th birthday Moulin Rouge party. Or how
Oh, I'm
many,
doing that. How many years to my 40th?
we won't say. I worked out mine the other day and was like, oh
Oh
boy.
no.
But you're right. This is about the time when like, it's worth keeping a list of these ideas. But the minute you said that, I'm like, I want to come to that party. immediately. There are a lot of people who will have gone to like a prom with this theme to this day, not
Yeah.
even in the year like 2000, or like 2001, 2, and 3. We're talking about now. There will be school proms. I'm so sure that when we were at university, one of the like college balls was like a night at the Moulin Rouge.
Yeah, sure.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
it's got the
Yeah.
potential, and it doesn't just mean like the historic Moulin Rouge. No, no, no. It means reference point this
Movie.
movie.
And the
Yeah,
soundtrack as well, I listened to so much. So
yeah,
that was on repeat. So
yeah.
yeah.
That was very much in the little plastic wallet CD packs that me and you were like big carriers of when we went on school trips. And do you remember we used to coordinate because one of those little like flip packs of the CD sleeves that you got from like HMV could only contain about 20 discs. And
Yeah.
so you and I would have some sort of phone call before like the school choir tour to Germany. God, we were sad. Um, and I would be like, right, Maddie, are you bringing Moulin Rouge? And are you also bringing like My Chemical Romance, the like soundtrack to Phantom of the Opera? Are you also bringing the soundtrack to Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and Return of the King? Cool,
Yeah,
right. If you've got
classics.
that covered, then I'm going to be bringing Les Mis. I'm going to be bringing 30 Seconds to Mars.
Yeah.
And like we literally like coordinated so we had everything there
Had
with
everything.
no
Yeah.
repeats,
So
even
good.
even sometimes for a trip that was just like a 30-minute school bus trip. But Moulin Rouge was in that set. It was punching with the big boys.
Definitely.
It really
Absolutely.
was. And it does
Absolutely.
to this day.
Nice.
So I hope people have felt nostalgic over this movie.
Yeah.
And I hope some people have thought, do you know what? I slightly remember that film, but now I'm going to go and put it on. It's on Disney Plus, people. It's on
Nice.
Disney Plus. You don't have to pay for it. Obviously, you have to pay for Disney Plus, but
I think the one thing that I haven't said that I would want to like say about the movie is like the theme, I guess, apart from the love story and apart from the tragedy, a lot of the theme is really about like the spirit of Bohemia and Bohemian living, which is definitely something we've seen in other things that we love. Like, I don't know if we've talked about Rent yet, but it's a similar
yeah,
vibe. And I think it's that longing that you have, particularly at like teenage age, of being like, the most important things in life are truth and beauty and freedom and love and like doing what you want and finding your love and being free to like be on stage. Like all of those things really resonated with me, I imagine with you. And
yes.
yeah, maybe that's another reason why it just kind of, yeah, fell into my heart at that age.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we were of the age when we started watching this, which would have been, we think we got hold of it as early teenagers, when you are just primed for that kind of content.
Yeah.
Like, but you could also be forgiven for seeing its continued influence that if you watch the video movie of the Eras tour, I mean, Taylor Swift is wearing the same outfits as
It's true. It's
like her
true.
costume designer references this movie a
Yeah.
lot. Like
Yeah.
the spangly body piece. Nicole
It's
Kidman
iconic. It's
people.
iconic. It's
Yeah,
iconic.
it really is. And on that note, Maddie, I will see you next time. You've been listening to the Fangirl Diaries. Follow us on Instagram at Fangirl Diaries Pod.
And do share us with any of your friends that you think might enjoy the podcast, and rate or review us on Spotify or Apple Music.